لا.
اوكي الصوت. اوكي هلا المفروض المجموعات انها تكون كتير كبيره، منشان هيك يعني الاساس انه نقسم المجموعات حسب يعني نطاق الخبره والبلدان اللي بيغطوها. لكن بما انه مجموعتنا صغيره بجوز يعني ما بعرف I think انه احنا بس يعني للتوضيح حابين نقسم العمل لمجموعتين، مجموعة ناطقة بالعربية ومجموعة اللي هي الناطقة بالهندي أو بنغالي، حتى يقدروا زملائنا يعبروا أكثر عن أنفسهم.
So of course, it would have been better to divide ourselves into large groups. However, taking into consideration our numbers, and we need to take into consideration the experience and the country that you operate in. So this is why we have decided to divide ourselves into two groups. One group that speaks only Arabic, and the other one that speak the English, and to provide translation for the migrant workers as well.
هلا بشكل سريع اليوم ورشة كاملة من أولها لآخرها، يعني لعند الساعة 2 بتختصرها هاي السلايد اللي هي أول إشي يعني إيش هي النت ماب اللي شرحناه. ثاني إشي بدنا نحاول نطلع كل الأشخاص أو لنقول الجهات اللي إلها تأثير على هجرة العاملات من بداية بلدهم لخلال الرحلة لوصولهم للأردن لعملهم في المصانع وأي أشخاص آخرين ممكن يكون لهم تأثير على هاي المسألة. كمان العودة تبعت العاملات. بعدين نحاول نعمل زي من خلال رسم خريطة نحاول نربط بين هدول اللاعبين، نشوف مين يعني كيف طبيعة العلاقات أو الداينامكس اللي بتصير ضمن مجموعة الأشخاص هاي، ونعطي زي قياس نفوذ لهم زي ما حكينا أوزان ترجيحية إنه مين له تأثير أكبر ومين له تأثير أقل. طبعا هذا كله حسب خبرتنا العملية مش حسب القانون شو بيقول أو التعليمات أو هيك. وبالأخير بدنا نحاول إنه يعني نتفق كلياتنا إنه هاي هي الخارطة اللي بتأثر على هاي المسألة بالتحديد في حالة الأردن. هذا بشكل مختصر يعني تنمشي بشكل سريع بالورشة. و يعني ما بدي أعطي وقت كتير لبرنامج ورشة العمل لأنه بتصور بعثت الأجندة للجميع الكل عنده اطلاع عليها، لكن هلأ بدي أعطي بدي أعطي مجال لزميلي داود من لبنان يعطي لو بشكل سريع كيف بدها تمشي الأول سيشن. داود over to you.
ثانك يو عليا. اهلا وسهلا فيكم. بتخيل يمكن انضم لنا حدا جديد كوري، ممكن كوري تعرف عن حالها او حال ما بعرف.
Sorry, I'm joining a bit late. I'm from Portuguese. I just saw the invitation, so apologies for that. I haven't quite figured out why this is not opening in the normal place that it's opening. But Corey from Portuguese, everyone. Nice to meet you all.
You're welcome, Corey. So we're gonna start, Corey. Now you missed some parts about the introduction and about the process, how it's gonna be. So maybe later you can go through it. And I'm gonna switch to Arabic to address everyone. Sorry. الخطوة اللي هلا نشتغل عليها لها علاقة إنه كيف نتعود على تول أداة نستخدمها بعملية الشغل اللي حيصير لنقدر نطلع الداتا منها المعلومات منها لاحقا. هلا مثل ما شفتوا عليا عرفتنا على الخطوة الأولى اللي حنشتغل عليها، بس قبل ما نشتغل على هذه الخطوة يا ريت عليا بس you can stop sharing your screen، إنه توقفي مشاركة سكرين لشارك سكرين من عندي، وابعت رابط نتعود على الأداة هيدي. حيكون في لينك I'm sharing a link اوكي بالchat window اوكي. هيدي اللينك بتفتحوها من عندكم وحتختاروا يوزر نيم انه لا تقدروا تشتغلوا عليها، بس اختاروا يوزر نيم من اللينك وهلا حتشوفوها قدامكم. اوكي you can see my screen. قادرين تشوفوا الشاشة تبعتي؟
أنا
اوكي
من عندي واضحة.
عظيم. اوكي وبلشت تشوف اسماء عم تعمل لوج ان. اللي حنعمله هلا انه مثل ما شايفين في اوكي في ايموجيز، في وجوه كثيره. ممكن هيدي هلا لما بتفوتوا عليها بتختاروا الوجه اللي بدكم اياه وبتحطوه بالدائره بالسيركل. You pick the emoji you like and you put it in the mood. مزاج، كيف مزاجكم اليوم. Just click on it من اللينك اللي شاركته، مش من الشاشه اللي مبينه عندي على الزوم. اوكي بس you click on it and you move it. اوكي واضح الموضوع؟
يس أنا بالنسبة إلي واضح، بس إذا في حدا عنده مش واضح بليز.
So اوكي عظيم. visiting bird يا ريت تختاروا يوزر، اذا ما في مشكل انه تختاروا اسماء it would be good. just click on the emoji، بس اكبسوا عليها للشكل هيدا من الجهاز عندكم وحركوها على السيركل. اوكي عظيم. visiting lion حتى مش الحال.
اوكي سو هذا بس اكسرسايز سريع حتى
هذا الهدف من الاكسرسايز هو انه تتعودوا على الاداه، تعرفوا تتحركوا فيها، لانه لاحقا حيصير الشغل بهيدي الاداه، فهو بس لنقدر نفوت بالجو تبعها لتعرفوا تستخدموها. اوكي حنمرق على اكثر من ستيب فيها، اكثر من خطوه، سو بس لتصيروا فاميليار معها.
يعني بس لاوضح لزملائنا انه هلا لما بنعمل الخارطه رح نعملها من خلال these. So Rania, can you explain to Corey quickly what we have been discussing?
اوكي عبد الجواد عظيم. اوكي
Rania,
Yes.
can you please explain to Corey what we are doing?
We should download the link to see how are we going to work, because the working groups will be working on this platform on Mural. So we start by choosing an emoticon that express or reflects our mood.
Thank you. I'm visiting Lion. I think I was the first one to put that one in there.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
So I'm trying to use English and Arabic words.
More than fine. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
الهدف بس انه نتعود على هيدي الاداه كيف نقدر نتحرك فيها. هلا لاحقا بالمجموعات انه ممكن اذا حدا ما كان عنده مشكله يساعدوه البقيه، بس المهم يكون في نقاش بالمجموعات اللي حنتقسمها. اوكي طيب خلونا ننتقل لشغله ثانيه بهيدي كمان هيك لتصيروا فاميليار مع اشياء اكثر بتتعلق بهيدي الاداه. بس لحظه.
So of course, later on, we'll be working during the groups on this technique. And if anyone has any question or didn't know how to use it, the colleagues will be able during the discussion to help them. Now we'll move to another part in Mural.
Okay, لقيتوا حالكم you found yourself summed here, right? Okay. لقيت هون كلكم صرتوا موجودين على شكل تاني بالبورد نفسها. الهدف انه هلا بتروحوا على الشمال go left، عندكم في icons text icons shapes connectors، كلهم هول قصص على الشمال بالصفحه عندكم. ففيكم تختاروا اللي بدكم اياه وتحطوا اشكال، وفيكم تعملوا شيء انه توصلوا الاشكال ببعضها من خلال الاسهم. اوكي من خلال الكونكتورز اللي هو حيكون شغلنا لاحقا. إذا كبسنا على الكونكتورز هون حتشوفوا في عنا أوكي هيدا بيجي أنا بختار الكونكتور اللي بدي إياه بحطه وين بدي بين شو بقدر حركه أوكي أوكي شايفين على الشاشة شو عم بيصير هلأ وبنقدر هيدا نفسه نغير له لونه أوكي من
So we
هون
should choose the shapes here, as you can see, and use the connectors to draw a specific drawing, and we can change the colors also if you want.
even the size okay so can be different size different shapes okay وفيكم كمان تختاروا الشيبس اللي بدكم اياها من تحت كله هول تاخذوهم عن الليفت بهيدا الشاشه اوكي انا شايف اشخاص عم بتشارك فالسؤال هو حسيتوا حالكم انه فيكم تشتغلوا على هذا الموضوع كمجموعات؟
So I can see some of you have already started working on it. Are you feeling comfortable working on it as groups? Anyone has any question?
Not from my end.
Okay, I believe no one have any objection to now. Sorry?
بدينا هو نساوي عليه. ايش هو؟
معلش مرة تانية ما سمعت إيش تفضلت أستاذ فايز أظن؟
مرحبا عليا مش واضح لي هذا موضوع اللي نزل الأستاذ إبراهيم إن أنا عم بستخدم تلفوني ما عم بزبط معي.
أوكي
مو قادر أتواصل معكم بهذا الموضوع عرفت علي لأنه على التلفون عم بشتغل.
استاذ فايز لاحقا ممكن لما بتصير بمجموعه اذا عندك اقتراحات او اشياء ممكن يساعدوك ضمن المجموعه بتشارك معهم بالشات تبع المجموعه وساعتها ممكن حدا تاني يحط الاشياء اللي بدها تتشارك.
ما في مشكله بس لانه انا عندي حاولت على التلفون ما عم بزبط استاذ ابراهيم.
طيب بعد في شيء بس حنعطيه بس لتشوفوه كمان اللي هو اوكي الستيكي نوتس انه كيف ممكن تدخلوا لانه هذا الشغل حيكون كمان ضمن اطار ستيكي نوتس حتختاروا عن الشمال التكست اللي بيطلع حدكم اوكي تكبسوا على التكست تختاروا ستيكي نوتس اللي بدكم اياها بحجم اللي بدكم اياه وبتحطوا شيء ممكن تكتبوا عليه اي شيء هذا اللي حينكتب عليه الاسماء لاحقا للاعبين مثل ما مبين عندي في someone already okay عبد الجواد.
You can see the sticky notes on the left with different colors and different shapes where you'll be able to write down any notes you have or later on these shapes you'll be able to write down your names maybe. So here you can add your remarks and your inputs.
عفوا بس I want to make sure that our colleagues بمركز الحسن because I don't see names here بس Miss Sunita, Miss Natasha, Mr. Rafiq, Mr. Sabu, are you able to move things and work on this app?
No, actually for some reason we are not able to do it and four of us are using one computer. Maybe that is the reason that we are not able to do it.
So maybe you can work as one user and you can discuss things between you and you can share it later on.
But the link is not open from us also.
The link is not open.
It's not opening from your side?
Yes.
No.
strange. Anyone facing the same problem? I'm gonna share it again, the link. Okay.
Same computer. Are you able to log in from another computer as well?
Yes, we can log in from other computer, but we have one laptop now. For 4 of us, we are using same laptop.
Okay. Can you please check again if the link is working now? Or
Okay, we'll try now again.
yeah, if you close it and open it again.
No.
That's so strange.
It's not opening.
في حدا تاني عنده اللينك ما عم يشتغل؟
باقي المشاركين عندهم مشاكل شيء حاسين حالهم صاروا مرتاحين بالتعامل مع هيدي الأداة؟
Other participants, do you have any problem? Do you feel familiar when using this tool, or are you facing any problem?
No problems on my end.
One thing we can do is when we break out into, go into breakout rooms, we can display this again.
Yeah, we will see. Okay. So let's see.
Okay, so هلا يعني بتصور انه صار واضح للجميع انه هي هاي الأداة بالأساس مفروض انها تساعدنا نقدر to visualize او تخلق عنا تصور للنتورك او لشبكة المؤثرين في موضوع الهجرة في الأردن. فهي هلا مفروض ان الكل صار مرتاح قادر يستعملها. هي بسيطة يعني، بس هلا لما نروح على مجموعة العمل يمكن بيكون بنقدر نعطي أكثر one on one ملاحظات أو مساعدة للأشخاص اللي بدهم مساعدة. So زميلتنا سوسن, you can take us.
So now we'll go to the breakout rooms, and if there you have any questions, we can work one on one on this.
قبل ما نروح لازم شارك اللينك مع تبع الشغل اللي حتشتغلوا عليه قبل ما نوزعكم بالبريك اوت رومز. حزوركم بالبريك اوت رومز لنشوف كيف فينا نشتغل عليها اذا حدا عنده اي اشكال. Let me share it with you before you go. Hold on.
بس أنا عندي يعني زي concern إنه زملائنا بالوركر سنتر مش قادرين يدخلوا على اللينك.
I will go into that room.
You were asking us something, Alia?
Huh?
You were asking us something?
No, I'm saying that I have a concern about the colleagues at the worker center if they're not able to open the link. But our colleague Sausan will be joining your group, so hopefully she can assist on your breakout group. Okay?
Okay.
اوكي. انا شاركت اللينك معكم، وهلا حنوزعكم على مجموعتين وحنشتغل نحن وياكم ضمن هيدي المجموعات. يعني حزور كل مجموعه من المجموعات لنقدر نشتغل على اللينك. هلا اول وحده للمجموعه الاولى حشارك للمجموعه الثانيه، بس لحظه.
So now Samson will divide us into two groups, and I'll be visiting you in the different groups. First, I'll send the link to the first group, and now I'm sending the second link to the second group, where we'll be able to work there.
Hold on.
Dawood, did you send the
Yes.
link? I don't have it in the chat. The new link.
I send the first one, and I'm sending the second one. Okay. First group and second group. Okay. So you have two links. Okay. هلا اذا وزعتيهم حتى هلا برجع بشاركها معهم على الجروبات تبعهم. اتس اوكي يعني بالسيبريت رومز بقدر ارجع شارك معهم اللينك. اوكي بس يو gonna send me. فانا مشارك هون مجموعتين، للمجموعه الاولى وللمجموعه الثانيه. ف we gonna see مين المجموعه الاولى. you decide now and so they can choose their link. بيقدر يختاروا اللينك تبعهم للمجموعه الاولى، والمجموعه الثانيه بيختاروا اللينك تبعهم، بيفتحوها وبيروحوا على الرومز تبعهم، وحارجع شاركها معهم على السيبريت رومز كمان.
Okay, so I'm going to break the big group into 2 breakout rooms now. راح يكون في breakout room بالعربي. There will be one breakout room where the discussion will be in Arabic, and then there will be another breakout room where the discussion will be in English. I'm going to try to, but one of the things that I also would like to do is to mix people depending on their background as well. So I was wondering, Mr. Mohammed Al-Maaita, Mr. Abdel Jawad Natshe, Ms. Suha Labadi, Mr. Hussein Al-Omari, ومستر فايز جبور إذا حدا بيحب يكون ب breakout room بالإنجليزي. في حدا بيحب يكون بالإنجليزي مثلا؟
مثلا أنا بكون، ما عندي مشكلة. سهى.
أوكي سهى. أوكي. حدا مثلا من النقابة أو من
ما عندي مشكلة، بكون بالإنجليزي.
مستر معايطة. أوكي والباقيين بيكونوا breakout room بالعربي. Mirvat, do you mind, Miss Mirvat, do you mind if I put you in the Arabic room as well? Or are you all in one room with one laptop? Okay.
Mervat is just attending the Mervat is just attending the call. Yes, she said yes. She will be in the.
She will be in Arabic. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Just to mix and match a little bit. Okay, so just give me a minute. I'm going to set up the breakout rooms. Okay.
ومثل ما قلنا حكون معكم بالغرف المستقلة كمان لنقدر نتابع إذا عندكم أي تفاصيل، أي سؤال، أي استفهام بالنسبة للشيء اللي حنشتغل عليه سوا، أكيد حكون معكم. المجموعة الأولى اللي حتكون باللغة العربية سوسن؟
المجموعة الأولى حتكون باللغة العربية. نعم. عليا، مستر عبد النتشة، داوود، ما عم ببين معي مستر حسين العمري، ما عم ببين معي، وما عم ببين معي مستر فايز الجبور.
بعتقد استاذ فايز هو الزوم يوزر. لا سوري، هي عليا.
زوم فايز مبالغ.
زوم يوزر. اوكي.
Yep.
اوكي سو هلا روم 2 رح تكون بالانجليزي. ميرفت سوري، حتكون الوركرز سنتر. ميرفت.
Yeah, Mervat is coming.
اوكي سو عندي روم 1 اللي هي عليا، مستر عبد النتشة، داوود، interpreter ماي، ومستر فايز الجبور. وبالروم نمبر 2 which is in English is Mr. Corey Schiff, Miss Suha, Mr. Mohammed Al-Maaita, Shudita, Tanzila, the interpreter to Bengali, and the Workers Center. Actually, the Workers Center, if it's going to be Mirvat, I'm going to move her to room number 1. Yes. Okay, I'm going to open the rooms now. راح أفتح هلا breakout rooms.
داود بس بالمناسبة إذا سامعني بالنسبة للكاتيجوريز لو بتقدر أنت you will be hovering صح؟ You will be moving between rooms. داود أنا عم بسمعك تفضل.
I'm joining room number 2. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm going to share the link again in the chat, or you have it in the chat, but I'm going to share it again. And we would all like to click on it. Okay, does everybody hear me? You can just raise, okay, great. Shall we click on the link? And
Suzanne, we can't hear you.
سوسن أنت on mute. You're on mute. Sorry, Sawsan.
okay, now you hear me. Sorry. Okay, so I'm Seahorse. So I put my first name, Sunita, and and then I put my email address, my Gmail address, and I accept Mural's terms and conditions, and just click, just press enter. Okay, is this working out, Sunita? So,
Sunita, are you there?
okay, so I see Corey moving something. What this is, if you see my cursor, actually, there's something in the chat. Yeah. If you see my cursor, there's here, you have the image of a sticky note. You click on it and you see all the sticky notes, the different colors, the different sizes. You see the size, and then you can start typing inside the sticky note. This is where you see shapes and connectors, arrows. Okay, and this is where you see other icons that we can add as well. I think these are the three things that we're going to use, is the sticky notes, the connectors, and then any stars or yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to wait for Alia now, so that she can join join our group and just explain how, basically the process of identifying the stakeholders and making connections between the stakeholders. If you can just play around with the sticky notes and just become more familiar with using the. I think I'm going to ask Alia to join our group because Dawood is in the other group, and he can explain to them.
So if you'd like, I can move back if you prefer. I know it's just to make sure someone's taking minutes in each group.
Sure. Yes, I'm getting her prepared because I don't want to move her because she's talking in the other group. I think she left her phone here.
تأخرت عليكم.
Okay. Then never mind. May Dawood is with us. Dawood is with us. Okay, go ahead, Dawood, please.
اوكي اول شيء حشارك معكم اللينك هون للي ما لحق ياخذها.
Okay, so they need to use another link, not the one that we used before. صح؟
انتوا هون عم تستخدموا تبع ال beginning تبع yes.
Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I'm sharing the link now. Okay, in the chat. So, and I'm gonna share how it's gonna look like. Okay, so you can see it now. Okay, you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so what we are going to do now, let me show you. This is the first step. We are going to talk about the players, the influencers. Okay, who are they? What's their roles? And we are going to name them by sticky notes based on governments, donors, international organizations, local, private sector, or even others. Okay. So these colors, it's gonna be, sorry, if I'm going fast, we can repeat this. As you can see here, this is the first step, the players based on the colors, okay? Okay, so now you're gonna pick a text, okay, from the left. Yes, it says Muhammad, yes.
Yes, actually, just to clarify something,
yes.
Is it good to start with distribute the factors, addressing the factors from the origin countries and addressing the factors from the destination countries in separate ways?
You can name those players from the original countries or even from the destination countries. Okay.
Okay, but because
based on, let's say,
there is a different factors pushing the people going from their countries. The poor think there's you know what I mean. So yes. I don't know. Instead of listing all them together, just put them on separate list or to
yes. We're gonna discuss this on the roadmap. Okay, so it's gonna be the day after tomorrow. So the factors why they traveled and how the obstacles they faced and all of this. Okay,
I got you.
So now we are talking about the players, the influencers, based on from their countries or even from the destination countries. Let's say if I'm going to talk about the labor maybe let's say about parliament, I don't know. You can decide based on governments, institutions, okay, even donors, even international organization, everyone who can influence this thing, okay, this process. Okay, so let's say if you are going to decide to take a text, okay, you can decide what to write in this, if it's the donors, if it's the government, okay, and you can distribute this in this blank page you have.
So if I may interject, was it doesn't matter if the government entity is in the sending country or the receiving country. You can
we need to name both, yeah.
Yeah, we can name both. The important thing is that it would be on a yellow sticky note.
Yep.
And then we can fix the position of that sticky note and put the lines between them. Okay.
True. Yep.
So we can start. I just want to make sure that Sunita is with us. Sunita.
So Mr. Muhammad, you can open the link. It's clear for you.
Yes, he's already working.
Okay.
See him. Yes, I just want to make sure Sunita.
And Corey also?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, everything is clear?
Yes, thank you.
Great. Okay. So still you need to Sunita. Sunita. No, we can't hear you, Sunita. Maybe you're muted. Tanzila, it's clear. You can tackle this topic with Sunita, maybe.
Yes, it's clear for me. Okay.
So if they have any question about it, so you can address it, right?
Okay, so I'm using my Android phone, and that is why I think I can't open the app. So do I need to open the app?
For you, it's good to see how it works, I believe so.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm fine.
I see Sunita. Yes, I see Sunita. So for Tanzila, it's not, I mean, it would be great if you can open the app, but it doesn't matter. I think as long as you can interpret to Bengali, Bangla for the workers who are with Sunita in the same room. But maybe Sunita is working with them, and Sunita, maybe if you can compile the ideas that are coming from the workers, and you can put them in sticky notes and project them on the screen.
Yeah. Sunita can ask them so they can share their points of view or even the ideas in this. Okay.
So yellow is government, orange is donors, green is international organizations, blue is local organizations, the red or pink, I'm not sure, it's private sector, and then the purple is other.
Yep. Okay. So you just put the text and the sticky note and you write what do you think in this, the name, and later on we're gonna bridge them or connect them. Okay. Any questions?
I don't think so. Thank you.
Great. Fawzan?
No, I don't have questions. The only thing is the screen is very small for me. The sticky notes are very small.
You can make it bigger as you wish. Okay, so it's up to you.
Yeah, you can zoom in.
Yep. But keep in mind to separate everyone. So later we are going to connect them. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but can you please show us how to zoom in? The font is really small and I can't change it for some reason. I'm not very familiar with this application.
Okay, from down, you have this, as you can see, you can zoom in and zoom out even the screen, okay? You can see now
Can you show me again?
what I'm doing?
Yes, got it. Thank you.
Okay, so if you wanna zoom in on specific thing, so it's clearer now.
Yes.
Okay, on the right down, there's this plus and minus. It's
Yes.
for the okay, great. It's a very useful tool, so and
Lisa,
friendly.
they're speaking to you. Why you're unable to respond?
Okay, I can see trade union, Ministry of Labor. You just started well, good. Okay, this is the first step we are going to work on. So, okay. See, there's a question here. Okay, so I'm gonna go and check on the other room also. Any question here? All is good? Okay. So I'll be back in a few. Maybe Susan, you can share your screen so you can see everything going on.
Sure,
So I'm
sure.
going to the other room.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So, San,
Yes.
can I ask why workers are not considered as part of, major players?
Why?
Deliberate or workers?
Workers? That's a very good point. We can add workers and others. Absolutely.
But don't you think that they should have something separate, like they're major players, like similar to government, similar to private sector? They shouldn't go under others. I don't. That's at least what I believe.
Okay, let me then create a new color. ما في كل الألوان. Purple, pink, green, blue. I can add another purple.
Maybe black with white text.
Okay. How about white with black text? Just to help me.
Also works.
Because I don't know how to change the font color. Ah, now I figured that out. Oops. Sorry, I didn't mean to move something. Dawood is not with us. I hear Alia is talking, so I'm wondering if the other group are discussing what they're doing. But once we get to a point where we feel we have enough, then we'll start the discussion. So I see Suha is still working, but Mr. Mohammed Al-Maaita, Ms. Sunita, do you think, are you okay?
I believe that I'm done. I don't have any.
You're done, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me check on the next step. The next step is to see links between each one of these, like each one of these squares, to actually draw links between them and to define the type of relationship or the link between the two entities. But let me just okay. Hala, I'm going to move below here, and what we have here are the links between the different entities. So we have links that are formal, we have links that are financial, like funding, providing support, financial support. We have links that are related to information advice, lobbying, advocacy, and then other types of links. So I'm going to ask actually Dawood now to come back to the room and to help us understand how to draw the links between these different entities that we have.
Susan, excuse me, but
yes,
I saw here like Tamkeen Adala, GSLA, Workers Center. Shall we name the organizations or name the players?
You mean the type of the player, like
Yeah.
the Workers Center versus the actual Workers Center is called Al Hassan?
Because
yeah,
if we're gonna go with the name of the organizations, there's a lot of them. You know what I mean?
I personally think workers' community centers would be enough. And then when we discuss, I mean, unless there are different types of workers' centers.
Yeah, since we said like NGOs that cover all the organizations, social organizations who working with the migrants. Maybe after the next step, we can identify who's the main players in this field.
Okay.
It's such an idea. I'm not sure if I'm right or wrong.
Okay, so we have, so for example, in local organizations, we have NGOs, but we also have Tamkeen, Adala. So I'm imagining that Tamkeen is an NGO.
NGOs.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
And Adala as well. And yeah, you know what I mean?
Yes. And then we have the Workers Center under local organizations, and we have, I put under workers, the workers community centers as well. So, I mean, we can clean the map as we start to discuss it.
All right.
We can merge things together. We can delete one thing that is repeated under multiple players.
All right. Thank you.
بس سوسن مثل ما عم تقولي حضرتك انه هلا لاحقا لما بنرجع بنعمل التشبيك بيناتهم، الاشياء مكرره بنرجع بنشيلها، لما بنرجع نوصلهم بعضهم بنوزعهم بطريقه مختلفه. فطالما خلصتوا هون حناخذ بريك لمده 10 دقائق وبنرجع بنكفي بالخطوه الثانيه من بعدها نلتقي بالبلانري روم.
Thank you very much, Dawood.
اوكي شكرا لكم وسوري عذبناكم بهذا الاداه، بس بتعرفوا لانه طالما مش وجه لوجه انه نحن بحاجه لهيدي الاشياء لنقدر نطلع الداتا منها.
Exactly.
Sorry, I'm talking Arabic still.
No, it's okay. I'll translate. So
okay.
We're going to take a break. How long? Adel break?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. We're going to take a 10-minute break. But I also wanted to ask, are we going to come back to the big group or the breakout?
Yes, big group. Yep.
Big group. So I'm going to close the rooms now.
Yes.
And I'm going to pause the recording and stop sharing. Okay?
Great. Thank you.
Okay.
Great.
وكنا اخر شيء نحكي على يمكن الدراسات او الاشخاص المؤثرين او الناشطين الحقوقيين اللي بيقوموا بعمل دراسات، وعندنا المركز الوطني لحقوق الانسان بما انه مش جهه حكوميه حطيناه مع الجهات الاخرى. هذا بشكل عام كان بالنسبه لنا الناس الاكثر تاثيرا في عمليه هجره العمال.
بس اسمح لي اضيف اخي عبد الجواد.
Our group the main actors. لحظة أستاذ خليني أقول سؤال بترجع بتضيف لما نضيع الفكرة. The main actors that we focused on are, of course, first the governments, including the Ministry of Interior, the Ministry of Labor, the National Social Security Fund, the embassies, the security agencies, the Ministry of Investment, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Ministry of Justice. The donors are all the donors of different projects in general, and the SDC, the international organizations, including the ILO and the IMO, International Migration Organization, the local organizations, the employers union, the trade unions, the media that plays a very important role, as well as the Arab Union, Arab trade unions, which might not be under the local organization, it might be under the international ones, the private sector, employment agencies, JGate, and the factories and the employers themselves. The others like the legal aid centers and the human rights centers, the buyers, the NGOs, and the National Center for Human Rights.
Okay.
بس تنوه ال SDC هم برنامج التنمية تبع السويسري، مهتمين بالتحديد بعمالة بالهجرة لغايات العمل.
طيب كان في إضافة بس تعليق بعد؟
أستاذ فايز كان بدي يعمل إضافة؟
إذا سمحتوا لي، احنا حطينا يمكن الاتحاد العربي للنقابات وتناسينا الاتحاد الدولي للنقابات.
اوكي بنحطهم بركي بالانترناشونال اورجانيزيشن صح؟ انه بدل ما بالمنظمات المحليه.
يس نعم.
اوكي هلا بنرجع لما بنشتغل على التوصيل بنرجع بنرتبهم وبنرجع بنشتغل. بتخيل حتى الاعلام ممكن يكون لاعب اخر، يعني انه مش لاعب ضمن المنظمات. اوكي
اعلام اخرون صحيح.
اوكي هلا بنرجع بنكفي. في اي سؤال من المجموعه الثانيه على هيدا الموضوع؟ هلا كمان انتم بتقدموا الشغل تبعكم. Any questions from the second group? Any comment? No? Okay. So I'm gonna stop sharing.
And to translate what Ustaz Faiz said, I don't think we said it in English. But please correct me. I think he also wanted to add the international space, not just the local space. And also we will eventually also, and Alia mentioned the role of the SDC, which focuses on, it's a Swiss organization, focuses on immigration of domestic workers. And also just, we want to later on look at the role of the media and not to see where we can move it from any other space. بس كنت بدي حابة ترجمة.
Okay.
So
ثانك يو ماي للتوضيح الاشياء اللي فاتتنا بالنسبه للترجمه. كمان حمشارك انا هلا المجموعه الثانيه. اوكي. فمين بده يخبرنا عن المجموعه الثانيه شو طلع معكم لننتقل للنكست ستيب؟
في مستر محمد المعيطة أو مس سهى أو سونيتا. مس سونيتا، حدا بيحب يشارك؟
So we're now moving on to the.
Sunita can do so.
We're now moving on to the second group. If someone can please, if anyone would volunteer to go through it as well, by all means.
I just want to mention quickly that we were working very hard. We didn't discuss amongst ourselves what we were putting on. كنا عم نشتغل وبنحط يعني لاعبون او البلايرز عم نحط، بس ما كان في مناقشة بيننا.
اوكي. اوكي ليتر بنرجع مثل ما قلت سوسن انه بنشوف الاشياء المكرره بنشيلها، بنرجع لما نحن عم نشتغل عليها ونوزعهم، بنشوف الاشياء اللي ممكن انه تتظبط اكثر بالاكسس.
اكيد. طيب الكل عم بيشوف السكرين. Everybody seeing my screen. Anybody wants to volunteer please to go over everything that we put on the board here.
What about Suha?
أنا ما عندي مشكلة، بس دقيقة بليز لأني مش قادرة أعمل شير سكرين لل
أنا بدي
I can't share my screen. Is it okay? عم بعطيني cannot start screen share.
Because Susan is already sharing.
Because I'm sharing. Do you see my screen? بدك أنا to stop sharing؟
دقيقة بليز. لا خلص هيو ما في مشكلة. لا هلا صرت أشوف. هلا إذا ما كنتش قادرة أشوف كنت عم بشوف صورتك بس بدون أوكي. هلا إحنا عندنا من ضمن اللاعبين لاحظنا انه بس في ميجر يعني في لاعب رئيسي مش موجود من ضمن القائمه اللي هم العمال، فحطينا له بلوك لحم او ستيكي نوت لحالها بالنهايه. بلشنا طبعا بالحكومات، حطينا وزاره العمل، وزاره الداخليه، وزاره العمل طبعا احنا حطينا تنتين اللي هي بدول المنشأ والمقصد، غرف الصناعة، وسفرات السفرات تبعت العمال، سفرات العمال. هلا تحت الدونرز صراحة ما بعرف مين اللي حط البايلات، بس يعني بشكل عام نحط بايلاترال. بعدين حط، أنا مش شايفة الفند كثير صغير، بولد فند، بعدين برايفت فيلانثروبي.
Okay, you can zoom in. You can zoom in, please.
اوكي دقيقة بليز. لا أنا ما بقدر
سوسن إذا you're sharing
يلا
هذه تحت المانحين. بجوز احنا ما فصلناها لانه في انا شفت المجموعه الاولى حطت SDC، بس طبعا في كمان دونرز غير SDC. في عندنا FCDO او دفد سابقا، في اظن US دول كمان بجوز بالامور العمال المهاجر. هدول هم اكثر دونرز بيشتغلوا على هذه المواضيع. طبعا في غيرهم اكيد، بس بجوز احنا حسب طبيعه العمل اللي بنشتغله بنلاحظ انه هدول موجودين اكثر شيء. المنظمات الدوليه طبعا في ILO IOM، في interregional networks، وفي كمان بنفس الوقت انا اللي بعرفه يعني احنا بجوز زي ما حكيت سميناهم بالاسم بالمجموعه الثانيه. في كاريتاس بتقدم يعني او خلينا اقول هي لاعب اساسي. المنظمات المحليه حطينا احنا NGOs وCSOs وسميناهم بنفس الوقت اللي موجودين. يعني صار في نقاش انه هل بس نخليهم NGOs CSOs ولا بنذكر تمكين عداله Justice Center for Legal Aid ومركز العمال، فتركناهم بالاخر قلنا هذه بعدين بنشوف. في كمان نتوركس، ما بعرف شو النتوركس اللي موجوده هلا. تريد يونيون هذه اظني تحت كان لازم عند العمال مش عند لوكال اورجانيزيشنز. بجوز هاي انحطت قبل ما نضيف الستيكي نوت تبعت العمال. هلا رحنا على القطاع الخاص، المدراء في مصانع الالبسه، البراندز طبعا اللي هم جاب، فيكتوريا سيكريت، اذر كلودينج ستورز، يعني هي بجوز لازم احنا نحطها براندز بتكون اوضح. وفي عندنا كمان وان ميجر بلاير اللي هو جي جيت اللي هي مصدري الالبسه، جمعيه مصدري الالبسه. هلا اللاعبون الآخرون اللي هي مكاتب الاستخدام أو الاستقدام في بلدان المنشأ والمقصد، في النشطاء أو الصحفيين، ما بعرف إذا هدول يعني بيندرجوا تحت others ولا لا. في كمان السوشيال ميديا، منصات التواصل، وفي تحت others كمان هاي انحطت الكوميونتي ليدرز اللي هم ما بعرف بالعربي ايش بسموهم،
قادة المجتمع والقادة المحليين المؤثرين
يعني. ايوه بالضبط. هلا تحت العمال حطينا في شبكات العمال، وحطينا كمان مراكز العمال المختلفة. هاي كانت للجروب الثانية. بس زي ما حكيت في شغلات بتتكرر بأكثر من يعني مكررة. صار في شوية نقاش إنه وين نحط العمال، نحطه تحت وركرز ولا تحت لوكال أورجانيزيشنز. فإذا بتلاحظوا مركز العمال في انحط تحت منظمات محلية، بينما الكوميونيتي سنترز انحطت تحت الجزء المتعلق بالعمال.
اوكي. سهى، بس بالنسبه للمانحين ذكرت اسماء، ممكن كمان نرجع لاحقا ندخلها كاسماء المنظمات اللي حكيتي عنها كمنظمات مانحه، تتكون عنا لنقدر نعمل هذا الايصال، لنعرف مين نشيط اكثر من غيره، مين عم يشتغل اكثر من غيره. بالنسبه لموضوع الوركرز ممكن يكون تحت خانه الاخرون اذا بدكم، او ما بعرف اذا الجمعيات تبع العمال او هيدي ممكن تكون تحت انه كمنظمات محليه، او ما بعرف انه هيدا شيء انتم ممكن تفكروا فيه، او حتى فيكم تتركون مع الاخرون اذا بتحبوا.
انا داوود اذا بتسمح لي، يعني احنا لما بنحكي على اللاعبين الرئيسيين، يعني ما يعني العمال هي اللاعب الرئيسي.
صحيح.
ما ابدا ما بحب، يعني انا شخصيا يعني بحب تكون واضحه، يعني تحت اخرون كانه انا يعني ما بدي اقول همستها، بس كاني صغرت دورهم. هلا ممكن احنا رح نحكي، انا متاكده لقدام مدى تاثيرهم على السياسه، بجوز ما بعرف شو يعني لقدام كيف رح تكون، بس يعني وجهه نظري ان هم لازم يكونوا بالتساوي مذكورين، لانه بتعرف هذه كثير مهمه، يعني كثير، يعني لما نحطهم تحت اخرون يعني ما اعطيناهم الاهميه اللي هم احنا كل اجتماعنا اليوم عشان العمال. فيعني كثير بحب يكون واضحه كلمه العمال موجوده، وممكن لقدام نحكي عن مدى تاثير، هل هم مؤثرين فعليا او لا. يعني هذا بجوز شيء ثاني، ما بعرف، هذه وجهه نظري. طبعا الزملاء يعني موجودين وكل واحد بيقدر يعني يعطي رايه.
نعطي مجال بليز
عليا اذا بتحب تترجم، بس بليز شيل الزوم
ترجمه.
اوكي، بس لوضح شيء بنرجع ننتقل. اوكي
بس للترجمه سوري، لانه حرام كثير حكيت وبعدين
كثير طول.
اوكي
اكزاكتلي. ثانك يو بليز. فيكم تشيلوا الزوم بس بليز. سوسن يس
ستوب شيرينج يعني.
اوكي لا مش ستوب شيرينج، بدي اشوف التابلو، بس حطيتيه زوم ماني قادره ارجع على الجفرمنت. Okay, so the main خلص منيح مش الحال. Thank you. So the main players are the governments, including the Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Interior, and when we say Ministry of Labor, it's at the origin countries and the destination countries, the Chamber of Industry, JCI, the embassies from the countries of origin and countries of destination. Among the donors also there is the DE, the US, and others. There's the private philanthropy, and here we've mentioned the examples, and the pooled funds. As to the international organizations, there's the ILO, IOM, and interregional networks, which I don't know who are in particular. There's Caritas as well, that's providing services. The local organization, the trade unions, NGOs, and CSOs. And we were discussing whether we should name the NGOs or CSOs or just mention them in general. So we have mentioned them: Tamkin, Adala, JCLA, and the Workers Center. The networks, we don't know which networks in particular we should mention. In the private sector, there is the managers in garment factories, and these are some of the examples: the clothing stores and others, VJ Gate, and others, recruitment agents, journalists, activists, social media, and platforms. We have also added the workers as a category in itself, and there was a debate whether it should be under others or not. But the last remark was that the workers should be in a category themselves, because like everything we are doing and all the meetings we are doing are for the sake of workers, so they need need to be in a category in itself. Okay, thank you.
اوكي سوري، بس لوضح شيء انا بالنسبه لموضوع الوركرز، انه اذرز، انه مش انتقاص من دور او انه تقليل من دور. هذا باطار لما بنرجع بالاخر بنحاول نغربل الاوتبوتس تبعنا انه في آلية معينه محطوطه، بس نحن لما بنعطيهم التاثير تبعهم او بنحدد المؤثرين منن حيكون كتير واضح المؤثرين من خلال نقط تنعطى على كل لاعب من اللاعبين اللي حيطلعوا قدامنا، وحتى طريقه اتصالهم بغير لاعبين، بس ليكون الموضوع واضح. يعني توزيعهم بهذه الطريقه هو مش انتقاص. مثلا الميديا اللي هي لاعب كتير اساسي هي بتدخل تحت الاذرز، انه بس حبيت يكون هذا الشيء كثير. ما بعرف سوسن اذا عندك شيء كمان ايضاح زياده بهذا.
انا معلش، بس بدي تسمحوا لي، بدي اقاطع هون عشان انا بدي اخلي الجميع ماشيين على المواعيد الموجوده بالاجنده، وراح يكون في مجال للنقاش بالاخير. فهلا بس عشان نقدر نعطي السيشن تبعت الروابط حقها، بدي اخذ انا الميكروفون اذا بتسمحوا لي. اوكي، حاسه حالي قمعت الجميع.
مستر محمد المعايطة كان رافع ايده.
سوري،
لانه عليا قمعتنا فنزلت ايدي هيك زي
اسف، حقك علي استاذ.
اسف استاذ فايز، ما قصدي اقاطعك، عفوا، بس لو كان بيحكوا معي.
تفضل استاذ محمد، تفضل استاذ محمد.
بس شغله بسيطه، يعني زي ما حكى استاذ داود، العلاقه الصناعيه مبنيه على 3 اطراف بالاساس: حكومات ومعرفه موجوده عندنا، اصحاب عمل معرفه بالبرايفت سيكتور، وعمال. هذول الاصل يكونوا الكاتيجوري الاساسي، وبعدين اي شيء، اي تصنيف اخر بده يكون موجود. فانا اتفق تماما مع الاخت سهى انه العمال لازم يكون لهم بلوك واضح، لانه هم الطرف الثالث في العمليه الانتاجيه. اسف استاذ فايز قطعتك، معلش.
تسمح لي
was saying that the workers should be, because they're part of the tripartite structure, should be in a category in itself.
تسمحي لي ستي بس اوضح شغلتين اذا سمحتي مع الاستاذ سهى والاستاذ محمد. بدايه، سامعيني ستي؟
نعم
تفضل.
نعم
بدايه اللي حكاه الاستاذ محمد والاخت سهى، هذا ما يتعلق في موضوع تشكيل منظمه العمل الدوليه، تشكل من قبل حكومات واصحاب عمل وعمال. اما فيما يتعلق بالعمليه الانتاجيه او عناصر الانتاج الثلاث، هم اداره ورأس مال وعمال، موارد بشريه. بالتالي احنا بنتحدث عن موضوع شو اسباب هجره هؤلاء العمال، من اللاعب الاساسي في هجره هذا العامل. هلا العامل، احنا كل حديثنا عن هذا العامل، فهو ليس هو اللاعب الاساسي. هذا العامل قد لا يهاجر اذا ما وجد الامور له. النقطه الثانيه اللي حكتها الاستاذه سهى، وهي نقطه يعني يمكن شوي غابت عن بالها، لا يوجد بالأردن فيما يتعلق بعمال اللي بيشتغلوا بمصانع الغزل والنسيج وكالات توظيف، ولا يوجد في أي تشريع بالأردن هذا الشيء. هذا وكالات التوظيف الخاصة بالأردن فيما يتعلق، هذا فقط في قطاع العاملين في المنازل. أما فيما يتعلق في قطاع العاملات أو العاملين في مصانع الغزل والنسيج لا يوجد وكالات توظيف بهذا الشأن. قد يوجد في دولها المرسلة، بس بالأردن ما بنقدر نحطها، احنا موجودة بالدولتين، واحنا نتحدث عن هجرة للأردن، لا نتحدث عن دولة ثانية. فلازم أوضح هاي النقطتين، وكل الشكر يعني.
مشكور أستاذ فايز. نعطي مجال لرانيا تعطي ترجمة سريعة وبعدين ننتقل للسيشن مباشر وراها.
ما قدرت اسمع استاذ فايز كثير منيح، قطش عندي شوي. اذا بحب يقسم القسمين لا اقدر اعد له اياهم.
طيب بحب اعيد لك ستي، خليك اياهم قسمين، ما في مشكله.
صح.
القسم الاول تفضل الاستاذ محمد وحكى انه الارتباط انه هو 3 عناصر اساسيه اللي هي منظمات اصحاب العمل او والعمال والحكومات. هذا التشكيل هو موجود لمنظمه العمل الدوليه.
As Mr. Muhammad has said, that this category or this structure that he has worked or he has talked about, it only exists at the ILO, which is the government, the employers and the employees. تفضل
أو العمل العربية. هذا هو التشكيل تبعهم لما كان سبب. أما الجزء الآخر اللي أنا بحكي فيه، لا يوجد في الأردن وكالات توظيف أو مكاتب استخدام خاصة بالعمالة التي تعمل في قطاع الغزل والنسيج. يوجد فقط مكاتب استخدام لقطاع العاملين في المنازل فقط.
As to the employment agencies in Jordan, there is no agencies that governs or manage the workers working in the garment sector, but only those who are working as domestic workers. Yes. Okay.
اوكي I think بدي تسمحوا لي اخذ الميكروفون هون حتى نضلنا ملتزمين بمواعيد الاجنده.
بس بدي اقول عليها يمكن فينا نكمل بالترجمه انه كل حدا يحكي شوي وتقدر رانيا تترجم لها، يمكن هيك فينا يمكن just to be mindful. بس كنت حابه اقول مش ترجمه لانه حرام حاسه كانه عم ننسى شوي وما عم بتلحق.
اوكي.
Can someone translate the discussion just happened about workers being a separate category or about that?
Yes, Rania, can you translate or should I quickly translate it?
What is that? Sorry.
Okay, let me translate it. I think الصوت مش واصل لعند رانيا. هي زميلتنا رانيا بلبنان, so إن شاء الله ما يكون الخط كتير ضعيف. So just
بالإجمال عم
quickly
بسمع كل
to
شيء بس
to Sunita, the explanation or the discussion was that Suha noted that the workers should not be considered others because they are the right holders, and that they should be given a significant weight when we are trying to draw a map for influencers on this on the event or on the migration of workers from South Asia to Jordan. And the commentary by our colleagues was that this falls under the generic approach of the ILO, that the workers are a standalone kind of a group with its own merits, according to the ILO, because the governing body does acknowledge that, which is basically workers, employers, and also governments. Also, Mr. Jbour from the Ministry of Labor noted that in Jordan, we don't have private recruitment agencies from or operating within the garment and textile sector, and that the recruitment agencies only operate in the domestic work sector. So basically, this is the generic point. So I need to get everyone back to the agenda and continue with my presentation.
Alia, can I just make one comment about private recruitment agencies' role in the garment sector workers?
Yes, Rania, but just keep note of this because quickly you can translate and I can quickly move back to my presentation. Please, Sunita, go ahead.
Yeah, it's true that there is no role of the private placement agencies, visible role of the private placement agencies, but in several of the countries, either it is India or Nepal, there are private placement agencies have been playing a huge role recruiting workers to Jordan. So it's maybe we are not able to, this is not very visible like in the domestic work sector. That is one thing. Second thing with regard to the
no wait let Rania
عليا ما عم بسمعها منيح ابدا.
I can sorry انا ممكن اترجم بس سمعت لها لسونيتا. Yes no I heard Sunita. I can translate to Arabic. So اللي قالته سونيتا انه صحيح ما في دور واضح للوكالات التوظيف بالنسبة لعمال الغزل والنسيج، ولكن بالدول الفندنج كونتريز، الدول اللي عم ترسل عمال مثل الهند، يعني في وكالات عم تشتغل، مع انه يعني تقريبا مش منظمة يعني ومش واضح الدور تبعها، بس هو في يعني انه يعني الهدف من اللي قالته سونيتا انه الدور اللي عم تشتغله الوكالات التوظيف مش واضح ومش منظم، بالأردن، ولكن بالدول اللي عم تبعت العمال يوجد هناك وكالات توظيف غير يعني غير فورمال انفورمال وعم تشتغل، ويعني بس I think هذه ملاحظة كتير مهمة إنه تنقال. Okay.
With regard to workers being considered as a standalone category, if there are true freedom of association and collective bargaining rights for workers, there are true representative organizations for workers, then there need not be a category for workers as a standalone category. But in case of Jordan, where the migrant workers especially not given the freedom of right and not given the collective bargaining rights, I think workers need to have a standalone category to represent their voice. I'll stop here. Thank you.
Okay. بس بسرعة يعني الملاحظة اللي قالتها سونيتا إنه هو لو العمال لهم منظمة يعني تحكي عن حقوقهم، فممكن الواحد إنه يقول إنه ينحطوا العمال بمثلا المنظمات أو بالأخرى، ولكن لأنه العمال ما لهم منظمات يعني عم تحكي بحقوقهم، منشان هيك برأيها هي بتوافق إنه العمال يكون لهم كاتيجوري لحالهم.
هي بس للتوضيح، هي بتقصد إنه مش إنه العمال ما لهم منظمات تمثلهم بالأردن تحكي بحقوقهم، وإنما العمالة المهاجرة بالتحديد يعني نسبة تمثيلها أضعف مقارنة مثلا بالعمالة الأخرى الأردنية. طيب ننتقل، معلش سامحوني، بدي أقمع الجميع. هلا نرجع للبرزنتيشن لحتى نعمل الرابط. الخطوة الثانية هي إنه بدنا نربط بين اللاعبين. هلا بدنا نشوف كيف تأثير هدول اللاعبين بينهم بين بعض، وهن نفس اللاعبين كيف تأثيرهم على مسألة هجرة العاملات من جنوب آسيا إلى الأردن. في عندنا هون بعض الأمثلة على طريقة الربط، بس هاي الأمثلة هاي يعني خلي ببالكم إنها فقط أمثلة، مش ملزمين هن فيهم، وفيكم أكيد يعني إذا حدا خطر بباله نوع ترابط مختلف عن الموجود هون عندنا كمان بيقدر يضيفه للمجموعة. لكن لغايات التوضيح حتى نفهم أكثر تصل ارتباط اللاعبين مع بعض، يفضل إنه نكون ملتزمين ب3 أو 4 روابط لكل لاعب. فالفكرة إنه السلطة الرسمية أو نوع الرابط يكون رسمي، مثلا إنه يكون في عندك قانون عمل واضح، هذا رسمي وموجود ومصادق وبيتم على أساس العلاقة التعاقدية في بيئة العمل. مثال آخر اللي هي التدفقات المالية، مين بيأثر على مين؟
عليا بدك أنا ترجم ولا ما بدكم هو اللي ترجمون بس
لأتأكد؟ go ahead رانيا.
عفوا عليا.
يا رانيا.
نعم.
عم تسمعيني؟ سمعتيني؟
عم بسمعك. ايه عم بسأل إذا بدك ترجم لأنه هولي ما
هلا يس ترجم الانترودكشن عشان نمشي فيهم واحدة واحدة.
Okay. So the main actors, there is the we need to design the link on the of these links on the process itself.
اوكي نوعية الارتباطات اللي احنا فكرنا فيها، اللي احنا شايفين انها ممكن تكون موجودة ضمن اللاعبين اللي حددناهم بالقبل، هي يعني احدى هدول ال5. طبعا هاي لائحة مش exhaustive، مش مستوفاة لكافة العلاقات او الروابط، ولكن هاي أمثلة عليها.
These are that we have talked about. We didn't exhaust everything. We didn't tackle all the points. These are mere examples. If there is anything need to be added.
اوكي، فالمثال الأول هي سلطة رسمية أو ضغط مفروض إنه يكون في مثلا نوعية ممارسة العلاقة أو لنقول ارتباط اللاعبين مع بعضهم بيكون ارتباط رسمي خصوصا مثلا هيئات رسمية أو قوانين رسمية أو تعليمات مكتوبة وواضحة.
There is official link or relationship between different actors. It's through decrees, laws, or clear instructions.
وإذا وجدت إنه هاي العلاقة موجودة ضمن اللاعبين بدنا نحطها بالخط الأحمر.
And if you found that this relationship exists between actors, we need to put it with a red line.
العلاقة الثانية اللي هي علاقة مالية بحت، يعني من ناحية ارتباط الأفراد مع بعضهم أو الهيئات أو حتى المجموعات مع بعض، هي علاقة تتحدد من خلال التدفقات المالية، وبهاي الحالة بنحطها أزرق.
The second type of relationship is the financial one, and which can be only defined through the financial flows, and it should be in the blue line.
العلاقة الثالثة اللي هي علاقة اللي بتوفر معلومات أو اللي بتخلي الأفراد أو الجهات ترتبط مع بعضها من خلال علاقة معلومات أو توفير معلومات ونصائح، وبهاي الحالة بنحطها بالأخضر.
The third type of relationship is the one that provides information or advice to the other players, and it should be also in the green color.
والعلاقة الرابعة اللي إلها علاقة بالحشد والدعم والمؤازرة والمناصرة، واللي بتخلي الأفراد يرتبطوا مع بعض من خلال تبنيهم لهذا الموضوع، أو من خلال إضفاء طابع يعني المؤازرة أو الدعم لهذا الموضوع، وبهاي الحالة بنحطه باللون الأسود.
And the fourth type, which is mobilization, advocacy, and lobbying, in order to increase the impact and the migration process, it should be in the black.
وبالأخير اللي هي الأذر بنحطها بالليلك color أو purple color. Okay.
And the last one, which is the other kind of relationship, it should be in purple.
طيب هلا بشكل سريع حتى نكون شوي منظمين بالوقت، بدي مفروض هي السيشن بتضلها من هلا للساعة 12:30، بس احنا هلا 12:15، فبدي اعطيها ل 12:40 دقيقة حتى we can break out يعني نروح نتقسم لنفس المجموعة اللي كنا فيها من قبل، ونكون معانا تقريبا 20 دقيقة نعمل علاقات ترابطات ما بين
So we'll go back now to the same working groups for 20 minutes in order to work on these links and relationship.
تمام داود؟
تمام. وهي الروابط نفسها اللي شاركناها معكم قبل لكل مجموعة. المجموعة الأولى نفس الرابط، المجموعة الثانية نفس الرابط اللي هي الخطوة الثانية، وحكون معكم بكل مجموعة وبكل روم نشوف كيف الشغل حيكون.
Please, you need to press on the same links that we've already sent you before, and I'll be with you and I'll visit you in your groups.
بس بدي أسأل سؤال سريع. الوركرز سنتر هو ميرفت؟ Is Mirvat the workers center or Sunita? Because I have workers center and I have Sunita. Okay. So that should go into the English language group. Okay. Okay, I'm going to open the breakout rooms right now.
Great.
Okay. خليني أعمل سكرين شير أنا. I'm going to screen share. So we're going to go back to the same link. Does everybody hear me? Yeah. Dawood, you're with us right now? Dawood, do you hear me?
It's for you, okay? Just spread it around because you are going to link it. Based on, as you can see here, the relation is formal, is financial, advocacy, advice, information, or lobbying and advocacy, or even others. It's up to you. So you are going to use from the left shapes and connectors. You can decide here we choose different colors because of what we have, and it's easier for you. Sorry. So if you are going to link formally between players, you are going to need to use this color. Okay. Let's say if the Ministry of Labor is connected formally to the Ministry of Interior. Okay, I can use this. Okay, and I can change the color. Okay, got it?
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move the squares a little bit away from each other to allow room.
Spread it around. Yep, and can be even clearer. Okay, is it clear now? So
yes.
Okay.
So we have to work on لفوق صح لازم نشتغل على اللي فوق.
Yes, هي اللي فوق نحن نشتغل على اللي فوق بدنا نوصلهم يعني هي ستيب انه we need to connect between
حسب
them.
الوان الاسهم اللي تحت.
يس حسب الالوان اللي حاطينها هون وانا نقيت لانه بحسب اللي موجودين بالتطبيق عندنا هون. اوكي يعني مثلا if it's advocacy, but let's say if the relation between the media and any kind of government institution here, it can be advocacy, so you can decide based on this.
Okay, بس معلش there's one thing sometimes it's informal يعني زي أول واحدة formal رسميا بس sometimes it's informal.
Other kind we can use the yellow. Okay. It's clear now. So even those workers, you can keep it in white as independent player, so it's okay. Okay. Everything is clear, Sausan?
Yes.
Okay, great. And as you can see here, you can decide which kind of connector between them, and you have different kind, and you can decide how thin, how thick it is, and the color. Okay. Okay, so I go to the other room, and you need to share your screen, Sausan, so they see what is going on. Okay, thank you. I'm leaving the room now if there's no question, so I can go there and check on them.
Susan,
Yes.
If we're gonna keep the names again, like Tamkeen Adala, GSLA,
Yes.
we have to remove NGOs. Plus.
So what do you prefer?
Actually, once we say NGOs, we cover all of them because there is another organizations working with. But if we name some organizations, that will do, you know. And by the way, Tamkeen and Adala focusing on domestic workers more than textile workers. You know what I mean? If we're gonna talking about the people who working in textile sector.
So the JCLA مثلا أكتر مع ال textile sector.
Yes, but for example, yeah.
طيب خليني أحط JCLA. Let me take, so would this clean the هلا we can keep Tamkeen and Adala for now and then we can take them out in a little bit.
As you wish. Etc. means everyone. That's good like that.
Yeah.
Garment workers, most of the time we get legal advice and legal support from Tamkeen.
For example, I know that well, but if we named an organizations, that means that we have to name all the organizations working with the migrant workers in textile union. There is some organization do one or two activities up here and there. It will be not fair to avoid them. So my idea is, if we talking about NGOs, that means NGOs. Like trade unions, we can say textile unions, but when we say trade unions, that means textile union. You know what I mean? But it's up to you at the end of the day. I will not put my words on the front.
So I put a green arrow between Tamkeen and other NGOs and the workers' community centers.
Yeah.
So this is lobbying, advocacy, maybe also information advice. Maybe you can put another line in blue.
Yeah. Yeah. Suzanne.
Yes.
May I ask you to put a row between, formal row between trade unions and manager in garment factors at the same time between the trade unions and labor ministry. I'm talking here about the collective agreements.
Yes, 1 second. Let me just turn this into pink. Okay, tell me, between trade unions
and managers in garment factors.
Yes. Okay. A formal.
Formal one, because when we're talking about collective agreements, It's formal. And you can link this with the labor ministry.
From the trade unions to the Ministry of Labor, or from the Ministry of Labor to the trade union?
The result between the managers in garment factories and trade unions goes to be formal with the Ministry of Labor.
So is it this way?
Exactly.
Okay. What about J-Gate?
Susan?
Yes.
Susan, under the others, that National Human Rights Organization also, I think we missed it. It comes under the others category. National Human Rights Organization. Because they have come out with a very good report recently, which talked about garment sector in a major way. So
okay,
I think we should also. Then also anti-trafficking unit. Anti-trafficking unit, which deals with the trafficking cases in the garment sector, also plays an important role. Maybe it also can come under others, or it can come under government organizations.
Government member.
Government.
Okay. You put it already, anti-trafficking unit. Okay. So the anti-trafficking unit, where should the row be? The anti-trafficking unit is in the Ministry of Labor, or?
This government institute, but it's not in the Ministry of Labor. It's I think it's Suha can explain better.
It's a joint MOI and MOL collaboration.
Is it a formal relationship? Okay, that's better. But you have pink rows. I think it should be purple.
It seems you're doing very well.
Suzanne, after you finish, may I suggest some rows?
Yes, please. Go ahead, tell me, I'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, between trade unions and NGOs, information and advices. I believe it's yellow one or something like that. Blue, yeah.
Okay.
And between trade unions and leadership community, migrant community leaders, same one, information. And I believe that there is one with about the advocacy and lobbying with the workers, between trade unions and workers. And NGOs playing a big role here in for the advocacy. So we got many ideas from the NGOs as a trade union. So if you can put advocacy role between NGOs and trade unions, that's good too.
Okay.
Susan, in our case, we reach out to many of these players. We reach out to embassies, we reach out to Ministry of Labor, we reach out to trade union, we reach out to international organizations, IOM, ILO, and at times anti-trafficking unit, and we reach out to Caritas. So it's so many players we reach out to. Shall we put for all these people, all these institutions?
So I'm going to put these relationships that are going back from the Workers' Center to ILO, to ILO, to IOM,
Ministry of Labor,
to Ministry of Labor,
civil society organizations, all the civil society organizations, Caritas, Tamkin, trade union.
Sure. Didn't I put a row yet? No. Okay. 1 second. Oops.
Also managers in garment factories, J Gates.
Yeah, we are so sorry. There's a lot of rows here, but this is the fact. You know what I mean? For example, the most important project with the trade union and I believe Workers Center in Hassan, Better Work project with ILO as well.
Okay. What about the human rights? What's the relationship?
We at times we reach out to National Human Rights Organization also, but it's rarely. It's after approaching all these institutions at the final stage we reach out to National Human Rights Organizations.
What about the embassies in countries of origin?
What about
them? What role do they play? Do they have an impact on funders? Do they have an impact on the private sector, on the workers?
Listen, I gotta tell you something. I have experience with them. Lately, we have a problem with Myanmar workers in some factory, and their government did not play any kind of role. So if we want to be honest with ourselves, usually the embassies does not go out of the government line. You know what I mean? So I don't know, Sunita, if you have another idea, because but this is about the garment sector, but about the domestic workers, we have another story. So about the garment sector, I don't. They could play some role with the bilateral agreements between the two governments. You know what I mean? That's it.
Okay.
Actually, in countries of destination, embassies, different country embassies have a major role to play. But in countries of origin, it is Ministry of Foreign Affairs, not no embassies. It's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. There are only, I can think of 2-3 occasions where workers have actually reached out to Ministry of Foreign Affairs, like in case of Sri Lanka, in case of Nepalese. No, sorry, in case of Myanmar workers and Bangladesh. These are the three instances where we noticed that workers have reached out to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in country of origin. Otherwise, most of the time it's embassies in the country of destination. They approach in government sector.
Okay, sorry for interruption, but still there's players with no connectors at all. So just to remind you, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave you and go back there if there's nothing for me.
Some recruitment agencies connect to the managers in garment factories. Recruitment agencies connect to the, so they ask for workers and they send the workers like that.
Yes.
Recruitment agencies.
What kind of relationship is this? Is it formal or is it information?
It's sometimes it's formal, like some of the recognized institutions like Manpower Recruitment Agency, and then there are Bangladesh organization, Public Recruitment Agency. There is a formal relationship, but unfortunately, there are also several unregulated private placement agencies operating from several countries, particularly workers from India. Since there is no public recruitment agency, comes through private channels. And most of these managers, factory managers contact these recruitment agencies and ask for workers. So there is a informal relation, and there is also a lot of exchange of money between the players.
Susan, after you finish, I want to add something.
Yes. تفضل.
Raw advice and information between the social media and platforms and workers.
Yes. Advice and information is blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
And advocacy between migrant community leaders and workers as well. The green one, I guess.
Yeah. Blue. الادvocacy. نصائح ومعلومات. Green. Okay, green. Sorry. What about JCI?
JCI, yeah.
What is JCI? Jordan.
Chamber of Industry.
Yeah. Both JCI and ILO, they are working on projects, so it's considering as a financial thing. For both trade unions and NGOs, and I don't know, Sunithia, if you have connection with them or not.
So we still have like more 5 minutes.
I think pooled funds, we can take it out and add it under private philanthropy or no?
Was that again?
Pooled funds under donors. Is it a distinct category or can it be under any? Yeah, can keep them.
Under international organizations.
Pooled funds under international organizations?
Usually, yeah.
Here. So change the color to, where's this?
Oh,
this workers center, we can take it out لأنه no, we can't. Yeah, we have workers community center and there's a line coming from ILO. So I think we can take this out here.
Yeah.
Because we have it. Then this line, oops. Oh, this what? Okay.
You need more time, Sausan?
What do others think?
They're still working, but they suggested like at 50, like within 2 minutes. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we're okay. We have a lot of connections here.
Okay, so like in 2 minutes, you're gonna bring us back to the main.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sausan, when we wrote networks, what kind of networks we meant actually? This network under the local organizations.
Networks under local organizations. Networks. I'm not sure. I didn't put this. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, I put workers networks, like informal networks, not like formal. But this one, I'm not sure. If nobody knows what it is, we can take it out.
Yeah, no need for that, no, since you cover it with. What do we mean by international networks as well?
Inter-regional networks.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. I don't know. And I also wanted to ask the Ministry of Labor in origin countries, what role do they play? Do they have a relationship
with the Ministry of Labor in destination country?
They have a connection with the Ministry of Labor. Is it a formal relationship?
Yeah.
Do they have a relationship with recruitment agents, the Ministry of Labor in origin
I believe
countries?
so, yeah. And it's formal, I believe. Right, Sunita?
I am not aware about the Ministry of Labor. I only aware about Ministry of Foreign Affairs,
Okay,
External Affairs.
okay. But usually any kind of agreements regarding to recruitment agencies goes through the Ministry of Labor in on origin countries.
Hmm.
Or maybe, yeah, you can do so that. But there is a link between the Ministry of Labor in origin country and the foreign affairs in sending country as well. It's formal in this case. No, in sending country, I meant.
Ah. Okay. I actually need to get connect my laptop to the battery. Okay. That's good. We're done. But I need the plug. But this is what you have in the hotel. لا بس yeah. I'm sure I have that. Okay, I think we're doing well. We can just wait for the other group. بدنا الادابتر من 3 ل 2 من هذه 3 ل 2 احنا خلصنا. اذا انتم خلصتوا we can come back.
Low battery. Should I bring my charger and then
Yes, perfect. Good. خلينا نسمع هلا. خلينا نرجع ونبلش لأنه كيف الكونكشن يزبط. Perfect. Thank you. Yes, it's charging. Thank you.
Just 2-3 minutes عشان فايز بوصل.
اوكي نحن بس 2-3 دقايق وبنبلش. اوكي اذا حدا بده ياخذ بريك يعني دقيقتين. If anybody would like to take a 2-minute break, please feel free. We'll be back in 2 to 3 minutes.
رانيا.
Yes, hello.
اوكي good.
هلا بدك نجرب نعمل activation للinterpretation.
أنا خايفة هلا يصير يعني أي technical error، بس إحنا طالما خلصنا اليوم we'll try it for the next workshop.
For Wednesday you mean.
زي ما نحن.
هلا خلصنا، هلا رح شو نعمل؟ نقدم المجموعات وبس؟
نو، بعد عنا التأثير.
يعني
بدنا
بعد
نعمل
في
هلا
working
التاورز،
بعد في عنا
working group. اوكي.
الابراج،
Yes.
التاورز.
هو للتنتين.
يس.
هاي بلش يرجع، هاي عبد رجع
أنا آسف، فصل الشاحن تبع اللابتوب فنقلت
لا
مكان.
ما في مشكلة، أصلا إحنا أخذنا بريك خفيف، ما تقلق عبد. بس يعني أنا ما بدي أبلش إلا ليكون معاي عدد. أعمل شيء.
احنا هلا تقريبا كاملين عليا.
Okay, so مفروض I'm sharing my screen. هلا it should show عند الكل.
Yes.
Okay, so بشكل سريع in 5 minutes الخطوة الثالثة والأخيرة لليوم اللي هي بناء جسور التأثير أو الانفلونس تاورز من خلال نحاول نعطي درجة أو نعطي علامة أو وزن ترجيحي لكل واحد من اللاعبين اللي حددناهم.
So the third step for today, and this is the last one, is to work on the influencing towers to each and every player or actor that we have identified already. We're trying to give him maybe a score or a point for this player.
طيب هلا من ناحية التأثير نفوذ اللاعبين زي كيف قبل شوي حددنا ارتباطاتهم، كل وحدة أعطيناها نوع من ارتباط وكل ارتباط له لون. هلا نفس الشيء بدنا نشوف نوع التأثير أو درجة التأثير عفوا، ونعطي لكل درجة لون. هلا ما بعرف
لا سوري، بس لا اتدخل هون انه ما حنعطيهم الوان. هلا في ارقام حيحطوها، في ارقام بحطوا على كل لاعب رقم، يعني ممكن من 1 ل 5، الواحد اقل تاثيرا، الخمسه الاكثر تاثيرا. كل حدا بده يعني كل شخص بده ينقي لكل لاعب من اللاعبين رقم. الدورهم بيكون او تاثيرهم ممكن يكون من خلال انه ممكن هن لهم دور بتغيير قواعد رسميه وسياسات، توفير معلومات، تمويل او سحب. هذا التاثيرات اللي ممكن يكونوا بيقوموا فيها او دورهم بتاثير. ساعتها على اساس هيدي الاشياء كل شخص انه من موقعه او من وظيفته ممكن نعطيه علامه قد ايه ممكن يكون مؤثر. اوكي.
So this time is different than the previous one. We will not be giving each and every influencer or an actor a color, but we're going to give them score from 1 to 5. 1 is the least influence, and the number 5 is the most influence. And of course, when we talk about the influence of a certain actor, that means at the level of changing decisions or policies or laws maybe, and each one from their own position or functions.
اوكي.
رانيا بس بشكل سريع تقدري بس تحكي نوع النفوذ او درجه، يعني مش درجات عفوا، ترجمه النفوذ اللي هن موجودين على السكرين.
عم تحكي عن أيهن؟ عن النقاط يعني عن الدرجات؟ okay. Changing the official rules and the policies, providing information about certain specific topics, funding and withdraw deposits, violating laws and rules and regulations.
Yeah, so this is the kind of influence there could possibly be. يعني هاي نوعية النفوذ اللي ممكن إنها تكون موجودة ما بين اللاعبين أو المؤثرين. بشكل سريع.
Great.
داود نروح.
يس حنرجع نروح
25 دقيقة.
يس حنرجع نروح على المجموعات مثل ما كانت كل مجموعة عم تشتغل على الرابط تبعها، وتحت حتلاقوا أرقام. هلا let me can you stop sharing your screen please عليا؟ اوكي. تحت حتلاقوا اوكي هيدا السكور من 1 ل 5. فيكم تاخذوا الرقم اللي بدكم اياه وتحطوه على اللاعب اللي البلاير اللي حددتوه فوق. اوكي. كل
So this
نوت.
is the table of the scores, and you're going to drag the score that you want to the player or actor.
اوكي. And you can also duplicate these numbers if you need more. Okay, so you can do it.
Should we do this in our groups?
Yes, separate rooms also. So every group will be working on the link they have.
ولازم نتفق مع بعض ولا كل واحد يعمل بده اياه؟ لازم نتفق.
لا كل واحد بنقي، كل شخص بنقي، كل حدا من المجموعة بنقي هو شو بيشوف، يعني مين من اللاعبين هو الأكثر تأثيرا بحسب كل لاعب من كل شخص مشارك معكم. بكل مجموعة كل شخص بنقي، لنفترض هو بيشوف إنه لنفترض الان جي اوز هي الأكثر تأثيرا، بنقي لها 5، يمكن شخص ثاني يفتكر إنه لا مش أكثر تأثيرا.
So every person will do the scoring process by himself or herself. If you decide, for example, that the NGO is the most influenced, then you should drag and put on the NGO.
Okay, I'm going to
can
open.
We ask for one?
Sorry?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we ask for one clarification?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, see, this is about the ability to influence or what is happening in reality now. How much they are influencing. These are two different things. You know that one particular institution has enormous ability to influence the decisions, but in reality they may not be influencing as much, as they may not have that political commitment to influence. So these two are two different things.
Let me answer this question. Everything we're doing now, everything is the reality.
True.
Yes.
So the main important part of netmap is that we focus on the reality, the matter of the fact, not the
assumption or what should it be.
Yes, and not the formality.
Okay. So I'm going to open the rooms now. Any other questions before I do?
لحظة سوسن، بس خليني عشان نشرح لزملائنا السؤال بالعربي. كانت عم تسأل سونيتا إنه هل لما نحط الأوزان الترجيحية هل نعطيها بناء على درجة التأثير الفعلية اللي حاليا عم بتصير ولا اللي يفترض إنها تكون بتأثرها؟ فالجواب كان إنه لا، إن نحط التأثير الفعلي للأمور بغض النظر عن الرسميات شو بتقول. فلما بدك اختار بناء على الواقع الحال، مش بناء على ما يفترض أن يكون عليه الحال. يلا سوسن هلا فيك توزعينا على مجموعات.
If you would like, we can discuss. Anna, I'm not going to put any numbers because I'm not very familiar with the context here. But if you want, for example, we can discuss the role of the trade unions, the recruitment agencies. Or if you would like, you can just work on your own. What do you think is the role of ILO? Can we talk about ILO? Sorry to, but what do you think is, what would you put for ILO, for example, as an international organization? Would you put 5, 4, or do you think their role is less? What do you think, Suha? Do you agree with 4 for the ILO? Hi, I was wondering, are people okay with 4 for ILO, or do you think that's too high? Hi, do people hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. We have 2 minutes to finish this step. I will close the room in 1 minute, okay? Do you think we're almost done in this group?
Hello.
Yes.
Anna, there's something here. Nobody's hearing me. I don't know why.
No, you're audible.
I know, but when I unmute, do people hear me?
Yes.
Then maybe shift me to your group so I can try maybe.
I don't see you.
طيب اوكي لا I think we're good enough مو هيك؟
يعني صار عندنا كم من المعلومات من المعطيات.
اوكي.
بتخيل انه ممكن نطلب من كل مجموعة تحكي شوي عن اللي عملته وساعتها بنروح لل final wrap up.
لا خليني اروح مباشرة مناقشة سبل تعزيز حماية النساء، عشان أنا بس بدي ألتزم بالوقت، لأنه أوريدي 2 صاروا تاركينا، فايز ومحمد معاي. طيب نكمل؟
Yes.
اوكي. طيب خليني انا اعمل شير سكرين. طيب مبدئيا، او خليني اقول لحظة، شير سكرين، سوري، نيو شير. معلش هلا بس بدنا ناخذ بشكل سريع ملاحظات او مداخلاتكم او خبراتكم فيما يتعلق بسبل تعزيز حماية النساء المهاجرات من دول جنوب آسيا. بدي أفتح يعني هذا it's unguided، بدي أفتح النقاش للجميع، أي حدا عنده مداخلات حول هذا الموضوع.
So now we're going to open the floor for discussion on ways to increase safe migration of women to the Middle East for work and the domestic care and garment sectors. If anyone has any input, you can discuss it now.
تفضل عبد. تفضل.
شكرا عليك. هلا زي ما بنعرف انه موضوع الهجره بشكل عام، رح احكي مش بس بما يخص النساء بس بشكل عام كهجره العمال، وخصوصا للعمل في الاردن في قطاع الغزل والنسيج. احنا بنعرف انه بيجوا من دول اغلبها شرق اسيا زي بنغلاديش والهند، سريلانكا، نيبال، على اساس يشتغلوا في قطاع الغزل والنسيج. في العمليه كثير معقده ومش بهذيك السهوله انه يتم ضبطها، ولكن يعني بعتقد انه ممكن نتعاون. يعني النقطة اللي حكت فيها سهى أنا ضلت في بالي من البداية، إنه هل العمال هم قادرين بحد ذاتهم إن يمثلوا حالهم ويحكوا عن حالهم، ولا هل في جهة رسمية ممكن تحكي بصوتهم؟ للأسف زي ما بنعرف إنه الأردن مش مصادق على الاتفاقية 87، وما في عندنا إلا نقابة واحدة اللي هي بتمثل العمال، وهي الكيان القانوني بتمثل العمال عندنا. بما انه احنا بنحكي عن الاردن نكون واقعيين على قطاع الغزل والنسيج، هي نقابه العاملين بالغزل والنسيج، فهي الجهه الوحيده اللي بتمثل القطاع او العمال بشكل رسمي. الفكره اللي بدي اوصلها انه كيف ممكن احنا نشبك، وهذا دور اللي انا بسعى فيه خلال عملي مع
بس نعطي مجال للترجمه يا عبد بليز.
I want to talk about the migrant workers issue in general, not about women migrant workers in particular. So in general, yes, in Jordan, we have migrant workers coming from Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and other countries. And we know that the process is complicated somehow. It's not easy, but I think the point that Soha has talked about is very important and stick to my mind, because it's about the representation of the workers. Can these workers represent themselves, or do they need an official entity or official body that represent them? And here it's very important to work on promoting or enhancing the cooperation between the migrant workers and other entities. You know that in Jordan, they didn't ratify on Convention 87. However, there is the Union of Garment Workers that represent officially the workers in Jordan. This is the only entity that represent the workers in Jordan working in garment sector.
فبما انه احنا عندنا واقع هذا بدنا نسلم بالواقع لغايه ما يصير اي تغيير، فبدنا انا اللي بفكر فيه من خلال عملي حاليا في مشروع عمل افضل، وبما انه بمثل Workers Voice Project بحاول افكر كيف بدي اربط نقابه العاملين بالغزل والنسيج مع النقابات الموجوده في الدول الاخرى اللي هي الدول المصدره للعماله في الدول زي بنغلاديش والهند وسريلانكا.
So I would like here in this regard to see how can I promote networking between the union of the garment workers in Jordan and their counterparts in different countries such as India, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka.
والموضوع باختصار عشان ما اطولش واترك المجال ايضا لزملائي الاخرين اللي عندهم حابين يحكوا. في بعض الدول سهل التعامل معها وممكن يكون في نقابه ممكن تتعامل معها، ممكن نعمل مذكرات تفاهم تعطي زي مثلا التريننجز للعمال قبل ما يجوا على موضوع قانون العمل الاردني، على موضوع مثلا مواضيع بتخصهم في العمل، اتفاقيات العمل الجماعيه. في دول فيها جهه حكوميه او وكالات توظيف حكوميه زي بنغلاديش مثلا ممكن نحكي في عندهم بويسل، بس في بلاد ثانيه ما في وكالات متخصصه، وبالتالي بمر العمال في عمليات احتيال في بعض الأحيان من حيث عقود العمل، من حيث رواتب، ظروف العمل. فهي الفكرة اللي بتأرقني أنا أو بحاول أفكر فيها حاليا، اللي بعتقد إنه هي هذا الشيء الأساسي وممكن ننطلق منه، اللي هي ربط كيف ممكن أربط نقابة العاملين بالغزل والنسيج في الأردن مع النقابات الأخرى. وهي كان تعليقي.
I'm trying to see how we can promote this networking. There are different areas of cooperation. We can provide a training maybe for those workers before coming to our country. We can maybe raise awareness on the Jordanian law, on their laws, to know everything, to know the working conditions and all the details. We can also work on signing memorandum of understanding between our country and the respective countries and other countries and the trade unions in those countries. That's it, I think.
Oops. لحظة.
Can we say one observation? Can we say something, Alia?
Yes.
Regarding to migrant workers' rights to collective bargaining and freedom of association. See, on the outset, it looks like that there is a union which represent garment workers, but in reality, what that representation actually means. There is migrant garment workers cannot elect their own representative in the union. First thing, migrant garment workers cannot contest for the union positions. So in such situation, when migrant workers are confined to paying the subscription of 0.5 JD on monthly basis, which is deducted from their wages and directly send it to the union, do we really call this as a representation when they are deprived of electing their own representatives and contesting their own elections? And moreover, there is recently the report which I mentioned earlier also, that National Human Rights report, it also talks about how migrant workers in Jordan does not have right to collective bargaining, does not have right to freedom of association, yet there is a collective bargaining agreement on the name of migrant garment workers. This is something which is very, very strange and very interesting. When you don't have rights to organize, when you don't have right to elect your representative, then you have no right to contest elections, yet there is a collective bargaining agreement on your name. So this is like this is a big contradiction which is we are facing. Like, is it that the representative organizations which we are mentioning as representative are truly representative? Are they talking about reflecting the interest of the migrant workers? That is a huge question in front of all of us. Regarding, we also want to say, depending on the situation from workers' center, we also have at times collaborate with unions in the countries of origin, Ministry of External Affairs in the countries of origin, or try to connect with the unions who can influence Ministry of External Affairs in the countries of origin like India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, especially during the pandemic times when there were no flights and when workers have to stay in the dormitories without work, without wages for months together, and there are no opportunity for the flights and all. When unions in different countries like Sri Lanka, in India were informed about the situation, even Myanmar, and then they arranged for the evacuation flights. This happened because of the work of the unions in the countries of origin. Like free trade zones union in Sri Lanka, they have actually negotiated with the Ministry of External Affairs in the Sri Lanka to arrange the evacuation flights for workers, Sri Lankan workers during the pandemic.
Okay, so if we want to take the comments you made and kind of give them a sort of a recommendation on improving or increasing protection of workers, what would you say?
The freedom of sorry, Abel, just before you continue, maybe we should give this a point for translation for those in Arabic.
I don't think anyone needs translation.
And everyone here speaks.
ما في حدا مش في حاجة نضيع وقت.
I think we
great,
all
great.
I think we can continue all.
Amazing. I just wanted to make sure.
To see, the one recommendation is that internally for us, the recommendation is not to paint the picture green by saying that migrant workers in garment sector enjoy the collective bargaining and freedom of association rights. That is internally, but externally the recommendation is true collective bargaining and true representation rights for migrant workers by facilitating, by allowing them to contest for union positions, by allowing them to exercise their right to elect their own representatives. This is the recommendation can be.
Okay, so I mean, this basically takes us back to the same point of the kind of representation workers have and their ability to speak for themselves.
إذا هنا نتحدث عن حق أو عن من يمثل هؤلاء العمال، وهذا ما كانت تتطرق إليه زميلتنا. إذا كان هناك بالفعل من تمثيل حقيقي للعمال، وإذا كانت هذه الهيئة أو النقابة التي تمثل العمال العاملين في قطاع النسيج، إذا كانوا بالفعل يسلطون الضوء على مصالح هؤلاء العمال، وربما ينبغي للعمال أن يتحدثوا عن أنفسهم.
Okay, thank you, Rania. I think everyone in the group understands good English. But does anyone have any comments about maybe the migratory journey from the beginning? How do we increase protection of female migrant workers from these countries from the beginning of the migratory journey? So not just focus on the case of Jordan, not focus only on the end, but from the beginning of the journey. What can we do to improve?
May I add something here? I think memorandum of understanding between the government of Jordan and the country sent the workers to Jordan. We know that Jordan signed many memorandum of understanding with the government of Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and India, for example, to recruit and hire workers from these countries. But to be honest, it's very old-fashioned. Memorandum of understanding need to update, need to revise, need to involve all parties in this memorandum of understandings. And to be honest, Ministry of Labor as well, they should follow up on this memorandum of understanding, not just, well, we signed this MOU and published it in our official website and we have something, but we need to implement it as well. Not only that we have sign this MOUs, but without implementation and without follow-up. I agree with what Sunita mentioned here, but this is the current situation. What we can do, the law does not allow migrant workers to elect their representative. But what we can do, this is the current law, Jordan, the current Jordanian labor law. Jordan, as we mentioned, did not sign or ratify the convention number 87. This is the current situation. So we need to do something in order to support the workers. I agree with all what she mentioned, but yes, we need recommendation. This is the current situation, what we can do.
Okay, and what about the relationship between, or let's say the network, outside formalities, outside the ministries and memorandums and all? What kind of NGO network maybe, or support group network between sending countries and Jordan? Is there something we can do there to improve it while the formal situation gets better?
Yes, I think, yes, there is a room for cooperation here. For example, that to support legal aid for the workers, for example, or mental health care or something like this. Currently, we try to support the trade union to sign memorandum of understanding as well with many legal aid entities, for example, to provide legal aid. But it still need, as I mentioned, we need to change or start working, not only theory, we need to action, to do something. Not only that we sign an MOU or documents, we need to increase the workers' awareness about that. We have, for example, referral system, we have a grievance mechanism, we have something in written that you can refer to it. And to be honest, yes, there is many difficulties or challenges related to languages, as you know, barriers and different issues. So I think, yes, we have many NGOs here in Jordan that they can support migrant workers.
Okay.
Yeah, Alia, I just want to add some points from my experience. Can I share?
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, though I'm just responsible to do the translation, but I think I should add some points from Bangladeshi point of view. Now we have been working to establish women's workers' right, and I was working in a project to reduce forced women migration. So where we have seen that a woman in the peripheral area have actually very little knowledge about the destination country. Yeah, so mostly they went to abroad by like brokers interference, like influence, like please go to that country, then you can change your destiny with just this kind of provocation. So they don't have the information like knowing like the knowledge, like the language. They're not aware that they have to learn the language, they have to know the culture, especially the women who especially go to the Middle East country, like as a domestic worker, they have to know that the food is different from Bangladesh. So they are not aware about it. So so mostly when they go there, they feel like, oh, it's not the food is not like this, and their culture is different. So we have to make them aware. We are trying to make them aware about it, and at the same time it is also important to ensure the contract, right? So mostly the brokers tell them that they will get this kind of salary, and they don't get that in there. And almost many times we have noticed that the brokers are telling them that you are going to do a garments job in garments, but they find a different job in the destination country. So these are the main problems what the Bangladeshi women workers face. So in this case, my suggestion and my experience says that if we can like if we can make a good communication with the government or with the destination country, that yes, the process should be clear and transparent. Yes, so there so that there's no things could be hidden here. Everything would be clear, that yes, everything is clear. So this is the situation. If you want to go this that country, that you will have to do this, and you will have to have this kind of experience or this kind of capability, or otherwise you can't go there. So it will save both of our time and everything, cost, everything. Yes. So
Okay.
yeah, that is my experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanzila. And what about the factories in Jordan? As far as I know, they don't have grievance mechanisms that that we, that workers can maybe complain, or can even someone who's from outside the process wants to look into it and try to understand what kind of violations happen. There is no data specific on this, or maybe with the government platform, we don't know. I mean, any thoughts on that?
Yes, actually I also not sure about it, but
Yeah,
what we feel.
Tanzila,
Yes,
the
yes,
question
please.
is for everyone.
Okay,
especially people who work in the factories. Are there any processes that are specific to increase protection of migrant workers?
If I may add, maybe again, going back to the point of Sunita, is to talk about in reality and not only. So, even if there are mechanisms put in place, do the migrant workers actually utilize these mechanisms and submit complaints?
I just want to be mindful, it's almost 1:50. We have 10 minutes to wrap up, to go through the numbers of the other two diagrams.
Can I add to?
Yeah.
Regarding the grievance redressal mechanisms, it's actually it is something very surprising for us. The whole thing, although there is the huge number of migrant garment workers are working in a completely different cultural context, in a completely different legal context. Maybe different is not the word, in an unknown cultural context, in unknown legal context. Even in that scenario, it is surprising to see there was not much thought given to the constituting grievance redressal mechanisms till recently. Till recently, there was no mention of grievance redressal mechanism. It was not felt by the players that there needs a strong grievance redressal mechanism. It was something very, very strange and surprising. However, what is happening is, in our observation, it's not about finding mistake or finding fault, but there are several institutional gaps and capacity gaps. If there is a labor inspection need to be conducted, there is an inquiry need to be conducted among the migrant workers, violations reported by migrant workers. It's not the same as conducting an inquiry about the national workers, because it needs extra resources. It needs translators. You need to understand some kind of understanding about the cultural context of these workers, where they are coming from. So they need some resources. But the biggest challenge is, not only in Jordan, in several countries, the labor departments in facing a lot of fiscal deficits. Like, investing so much on labor departments and investing on labor inspection is not the case in many countries. Jordan is not the exception. So that when one don't involve, national governments don't invest in the labor inspection system, in the grievance redressal mechanisms, and try to capture the realities of migrant workers and try to understand their cultural context, and then you understand better why the grievance have was reported and these things.
Sunita, just so I understand, so you're talking about two things. One is that by factories themselves, the redressal mechanisms require attention, and then also by the government and institutions and the kind of resources there are. So on both ways, there is the challenge is there, right?
Yeah, but there needs a overall grievance redressal system, not only within the factory. Not only with the grievance redressal system within the factory is not sufficient. There should be a overall grievance redressal system, either zonal wise or industry wise, something like that. Government wise, there needs a separate. But this grievance redressal systems must be funded properly. They have several resource gaps. They have several capacity gaps. So there needs resources. That's what I mean to say.
So it's yeah. So it has to be industry wide, like you said, and everyone should be involved in it, so that wherever it's judicial, legislative, and then of course within the factory setup itself, which would also include the cultural side of the workers' background. Okay, so I think I mean, unless any of you has a pressing comment that wants to share with us, I think this comes to a conclusion of today's workshop. We have, I think, a better understanding of the main influences, what kind of dynamics they have between themselves, and how influential they are concerning the migration of female migrant workers from South Asia to Jordan for work in the garment sector. So I want to thank everyone with us today, and hopefully we see you on Wednesday.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you for your time, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye from Worker Center team.
Thank you. Thank you, Sunita. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Alia. Nice to meet you all again. Bye.